The speckled man, an every morning visitor for Holmes. For many years, I was a good friend of Sherlock Holmes, the famous private detective. During this time, Holmes solved many unusual mysteries, but perhaps one of the most unusual was the mystery of the speckled man. The story began in April 1883. At that time, Holmes and I were sharing an apartment in Baker Street, in London. One morning I woke up very early. To my surprise, Holmes was standing beside my bed. He was already dressed. "What's happened, Holmes?" I asked. "Is there a fire?" "No, Watson," replied Holmes. "A client has just arrived. A young lady is waiting downstairs. She seems very worried and upset. I think she has something important to tell me. This could be an interesting case. Watson, that's why I woke you up." "I'll come at once," I said. I was very interested in Holmes' cases. My friend was a very clever detective. I very much admired his work. So I dressed quickly and went downstairs with Holmes. The lady was waiting in our sitting room. She was dressed all in black. Over her face she wore a veil. "Good morning, madame," said Holmes. "I'm Sherlock Holmes, and this is Dr. Watson, my friend and helper." Holmes shut the door and turned to the lady. "You're shivering, madame," he said. "You must be cold. Sit near the fire and I'll get you some hot coffee." The lady moved nearer the fire. Then she said, "It isn't the cold which makes me shiver." "What's then?" "It's fear, Mr. Holmes. It's terror." As she spoke, the lady raised her veil. We saw at once that she was very frightened. Her eyes were like the eyes of a terrified animal. She was a young woman, about 30 years old, but her hair was already turning grey with worry. Holmes looked at the lady carefully. Then he leaned forward and touched her arm. "Don't be afraid," he said kindly. "I'm sure we can help you. But first, please tell us your story." "Mr. Holmes," said your visitor, "I know I'm in terrible danger. Please tell me what to do." Miss Stoner begins her story. "I'm listening carefully," said Holmes. So the lady began her story. "My name," she said, "is Helen Stoner. My father was an officer in the Indian Army, but he died when I was a baby. After his death, my mother, my sister Julia and I continued to live in India. My sister Julia and I were twins. When Julia and I were only 2 years old, my mother married again. She married a man called Dr. Greenby Roylott, so Dr. Roylott became our stepfather." "Tell me about Dr. Roylott," said Holmes. "In the past, Dr. Roylott's family were very rich," said Miss Stoner, "but as the years went by, they lost all their money. Now, Dr. Roylott has only a large old house and a small piece of land. The house is called Stoke-Moran. I'm living at Stoke-Moran with Dr. Roylott now. When my stepfather was young, he studied medicine. After he became a doctor, he went to India. That's where he met my mother, and later married her. My mother was a rich woman," went on Miss Stoner. "She has a private income. Every year she received a sum of about £1,000 from her bank. When she married Dr. Roylott, an agreement was made about this money." "What was this agreement?" asked Holmes. "If my mother died," replies Mr. Stoner, "Dr. Roylott would inherit her income. After her death, he would receive 1,000 pounds every year. But if my sister or I married, some of the 1,000 pounds could go to instead. We could receive part of the money. I see, said Holmes. After some years we returned to England from India, continued Mr. Stoner. But soon after we got back, my mother was killed in an accident. At first, all our neighbors at Stoke were friendly with my stepfather. They were very happy that someone from the royal family was living at Stoke again. But my stepfather didn't want to make friends with anyone. Whenever he went out, he quarreled with somebody. He's a very bad-tempered man and gets angry quickly. Some of our neighbors were afraid of him. Didn't he have any friends at all? Asked Holmes. His only friends were gypsies, said Mr. Stoner. The gypsies moved round the country in bands. Dr. Roylott allows these gypsies to come on his land. Dr. Roylott is also very fond of Indian animals. Two of these, a cheetah and a baboon, were sent to him from India. They run armed freely over his land. Everyone is terrified of this dangerous animal. So Julia and I became more and more unhappy. When on Miss Stoner, no servants wanted to live at Stoke so we had a dog to work when Julia died. Your sister is dead then? Asked Holmes. At once he became very interested. Yes, said Mr. Stoner. She was to be married. The date had been fixed for the wedding, but 2 weeks before her wedding day Julia died.